everybody, it's Drew. Welcome back to my scale modeling channel, and I want to welcome everybody to 2026. So happy new year. And if you're a returning subscriber, I do appreciate you tuning into my channel. If you're new, kick back and relax and consider giving me a sub and a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. It does help the channel. It's been a lot of fun on YouTube, guys. I experienced a lot of growth in 2025, and I want to just continue that and keep up, building models and presenting those to you and offering you any tips that I can. And again, my goal is to help you out. If you can learn something, great. And I learn tons of stuff from everybody on YouTube. So anyway, in this video, I want to give you an update on where I'm at on the Hobby Boss ME262. I made a little bit of progress here. It's a kit that, so far I've had a lot of fun building it, but there are some issues, and just required a little bit of cleanup and some filling. So I want to show you where I'm at on this, and I'll show you a little bit more detail. So I'm going to flip the camera around so it's on the bench. So just hang tight and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got resituated here. So as you can see, I've got the cockpit in. You can see down in there, maybe not enough light. The cockpit doesn't look too bad. I didn't spend a lot of time doing a lot of weathering inside of it because you're just not going to see it. But there we are. Gun bays are in. The kit does give you the option to pose this open, so you can see the guns and the. I guess these are the chutes for the spent shells. That side there. Sorry, hang on. Okay. And this side here, I did break one by accident, so I can. It looks a little worn there. Well, here are the issues that I had. The front. Remember, this part here is metal, and it's nice that Hobby Boss did that because it gives you the weight on the front to keep the nose down. It's a little bit too big. And I really didn't notice that until I started getting everything put into the fuselage halves. I got all this built, but then you install basically this piece into here, and so when you try to go to close up the fuselage, it doesn't want to close up very well. So I guess if you're going to build the kit, you might want to test fit it really well before you start putting glue. Maybe cut a little bit, or you can simply use the plastic part. You do get a plastic part instead of the metal, and just you have room, you can load weight onto it, because you'll never see this part. You'll never see this part either, this little radar thing. I think that's what it is. I even left that off because it didn't fit right, because this doesn't want to fit exactly right. So okay, so what I had to do basically is I actually took it apart a couple times, or once anyway, did some filing, sanding. It's still not 100% perfect. I wasn't able to close this, so it did have a nice little gap there, and I just used styrene card. I used a piece of sheet styrene, put it in there, glued it in, of course cut it to size, and now I've sanded it off, and it's pretty smooth. Feel a little bit there. I need to maybe work on that some more. This nose piece that goes on top where the gun barrels go into, it didn't want to fit either. So I also on this, I used styrene card here as well on this side. And basically if you clamp one side really good, it left kind of a gap on the opposite side, so I used styrene card. On this side, I just simply used a little bit of putty right here, some Tamiya putty, and just sand that smooth. The nose piece, man, I really wanted to, paint that separate because I'm using the scheme where it has a red nose. Let me show you that. Where'd it go? For you here. So yeah, I like this scheme here. It's got the red nose and this little red band on the tail. I like that. So it looks unique. So I really wanted to paint the nose separate, but when I test fitted it, it had some gaps. So basically I glued it on and I used this Vallejo plastic putty for some of those, and that way you really didn't need to sand a lot. It just where it fit up against the fuselage part here, there was some unevenness and some little tiny gaps. So I just ran some of that Vallejo putty and just gently sanded some areas. Okay. Had another gap right here, this part here. That's pretty smooth now. Also, I want you to notice this part here. There's a step right here. Basically, if I sanded that off, I'm going to lose all that nice rivet detail there. However, it's going to have two little rocket canisters here. They're called the rocket assisted takeoff. And so I think I'm just going to get away with that. I think I'm going to leave it because, you really can't tell. I mean, it's not going into a contest or anything. So I think I'll just leave it. Like I said, I can sand it smooth, but I'm going to lose all that rivet detail there. So maybe when I put primer on it, if I notice it's really ugly and really sticks out, I might just have to go ahead and sand it all off. But yeah, there's a step right there. And I don't have any kind of riveting tool. That's something I probably need to get, but I don't have anything like that. So, okay, so same thing on the engine nacelles, gaps. Okay, so I've got these cleaned up. These, I had to, of course, smooth out the seam line. The pieces that fit over here. Let's find it. I jumped a couple pages ahead. There we go. So like this piece here that goes on the rear of the jet nozzle. It leaves some gaps here where you put it on and some ugly seam lines. So yeah, I still feel, when you think you got it done, I still feel, a step right here. So I might have to clean that up a little bit too. So I got it cleaned up. Where the front here, the cover on the compressor fan in the intake area, it had a little bit of gaps there. So smooth them all out. It's just sanding and smoothing and filling and whatnot. Sometimes some kits do more than others, but overall, I think it's going together okay. I want to go ahead and put these on because I want them glued in place. And so, see, I marked it L there. So it's going to be the left side. So this is going to go like this. That's a nice fit. So let me do this one, and then we'll go back and glue it. Well, it fits pretty nice. So we'll get some extra thin here. Start running it around. Let's let that, way too much there. Let that evaporate, and that should run down into the seam. Okay, that side. Yeah. Hopefully that went down in there. Let me get the other side, then I'll come back and clamp them. Sometimes I can't tell if it's running down or not. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clamp these. Okay, and I'll run these down this. Getting low here, so I gotta make sure I get the brush down in the bottle. Okay. Let me get some clamps on these. Because you see right there, gotta clamp that hard. You can get rid of that, mostly get rid of that gap. Let's see if I can't get those on there. Okay, I'm gonna get on there just enough to where it, most of it is clamped down. Let me find my other one. Double check there. Okay. Well, if I can get it to stay. There we go. Pretty good job there. Some emergency vehicles in the background. Okay, so that's that. So I cleaned up the seams. And they feel pretty smooth with the fingernail test. And I really didn't want to, I tried my best to stay inside where the panel lines are because I don't want to destroy the rivet detail. But it'll look nice once it gets primed. It'll hopefully cover all that crap up and be good to go. So yeah, I have a little filler around these areas here too, with the wings attached to the fuselage, right here and right here. I think I need to sand that better. Yeah, so there we are. Let me move this up here a little bit. Just trying to get it right. So it looks like on some of these, I'm probably going to run a little bit of the Vallejo putty in these areas. That should be just fine though. Should works well. Sometimes these clamps don't want to stay put. There we go. All right. Okay, well there we are. You can also see the bottom there. But that's where I'm at, guys. So if you are building this kit, a couple suggestions so far is I would maybe consider just going with the plastic part instead of the metal part. Okay. Yeah, here's the plastic part. The metal part, I didn't compare them, but I think the metal part's a little bit bigger, and it caused me some issues getting the front part of the fuselage to join up and to get the nose area situated. So Maybe consider going with the plastic, and then just, like I said, you've got a lot of room. You can add some weight right here. In fact, this is going to be covered up with a door. I was going to put those on, but I'll do those off camera. These doors here, this is going to be covered up. This is going to be covered up. So you can put a lot of weight up here, and you can also put more weight in here if you feel like you need it. So that'd be my suggestion. But let me know in the comments what you would do about that. If you think it's not a big deal, let me know. Because I don't really know if you can, if you're going to pick it up and look at it in a contest or something like that, it would stick out. But with the two little rockets that are going to go right there, I think it'll be okay. It's like these little rockets here. These are called rocket assisted takeoff, or takeoff something. RATOGs is what they're called. And I put on Facebook a question about what color these should be, and another fella sent me a picture of these from a museum of aviation in Germany, and they were kind of a darker, they kind of like RLMO2, but a little bit darker, if you know what I mean, but more of a steel color, because it doesn't tell you what color to paint them. So those are going to go over that, which might take away or detract from noticing this step here. But let me know in the comment, is it really going to stick out, or what do you think? So that's that. So okay, so I'm gonna let all that set up, let the engine set up, and take care of the little seams. Just run some Vallejo putty into these seams right here as well, and over here, and that takes care of that. And okay, but there we go. There are the machine guns. All right, guys. So I will see you in the next video. Again, if you haven't done so already, please give me a sub and a thumbs up. It does help me out. I do appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.